So welcome to a behind the scenes look at what it looks like when we do quality assurance at FarmAnywhere. Philip behind me, our Director of Operations at the company. When a container is finished and is ready to be shipped out, we take it out, we bring it in quality assurance bay that you see behind me, and we go through a list of 380 points to make sure that everything works in tip-top shape. So we'll be able to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes of what we do on the HVAC side, on the water side, plumbing, on the electrical, and kind of see a little bit of like the little nitty-gritty detail that's really important when it comes to finishing off a farm and sending it off. All right, so one of the most important steps that we have here is paint and visual appearance. So just the overall look, does the container look polished? Is the caulking done properly? Is the paint thickness proper as well? And is there any scuffs or marks that needs to be fixed before we ship it out? So we have a paint gauge thickness meter right here, and then we'll have just a visual look at the container itself, make sure that everything looks good. Philip, I think everything is proper on that one, right?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, cool. And then the last time is we're gonna look at the thickness of the paint. And we're going 282 microns on the thickness, which is exactly what we're looking for. So one thing that companies really try to hide basically is that, when you do the QA, things don't always go right. And they try to hide that everything is always fine and dandy and it works. But in this case, like with this QA, we've actually gone through the process. We've identified a few issues that was wrong. One of it was that the main water supply tank was dirty, and that's part of the process to clean it. So we've addressed that issue by assigning a team member to come and clean it and put it up to par. And Philip then goes through the list and makes sure that these deficiencies are corrected. And so Philip just realized right now that the water has been cleaned by the worker. And so he's going to go in the system and make sure that it now shows as pass instead of as a fail. So obviously we go through testing all kinds of plumbing, and one test that we're going to show right here is when we test for hot water. So Philip is just going to turn on the tap for a little bit, and then we can use IR gun, we can use our hands, but we have a camera gun, a heat gun. So we just basically take the measurement like that, make sure it's in the 50 Celsius range. That way we know the hot water tank is working properly and there's enough flow. And that's just one of many tests that we do when it comes to plumbing, including drainage, making sure that the sink also works properly and all the pumps work according to plan. Another crucial part when it comes to a container farm or any farm in general, it's the HVAC system. And we do a bunch of tests on the electrical side and on the gas side to make sure that the HVAC fits the bill when it comes to your own farm. But another crucial part is how balanced out the air is throughout the container. And we balance out the air inside the factory, but once we have everything installed, sometimes things go out of the deviation a little bit. And so we remeasure it. That's what you see Philip doing right here. He's measuring the main entrance of the lobby for the airflow, and we're getting 119 CFM about, and that's exactly what we should be expecting for that particular diffuser. And every single diffuser has different sizes, and so that gets balanced out one last time before the farm gets sent to you. So the most crucial part of it all is stress testing. So you see a graph here of the last 24 hours where we're stress testing the container's capabilities to make sure that it follows all the capabilities that we want it to perform at. So you see it in the graph right here where we have a maximum of 28C, minimum of 12C in terms of heat and cooling. That was actually a little bit higher if we go to a 7-day forecast right here. We're actually brought it up all the way to 33 and 12 in terms of stressing it. And then if we look at the humidity, we brought it all the way up to 97% and maintain 97%, and then also be able to dehumidify quickly down here to proper temperatures, 45% humidity. So that's a good little snapshot. Obviously, this goes on a longer period of time. If we go to 7 days, we were doing some quick tests here, then a little bit of a gap, and then again, start stress testing it again. So that's part of the whole process on what we go through to make sure that the farm really runs to its optimal capabilities on the HVAC, but that's also done on plumbing, also done on the electrical side and the grow lights and so on and so forth. So the next step is anything that has to do with electrical, and the container SPF 1000 certified by Intertek, independent body, to make sure that it follows electrical standards. But on our side, a good way for us to find out if something is not working properly in terms of motors or the HVAC or the lights is by measuring the amperage. So we don't put just a clamp in the electrical panel, we actually put a computer on it, and you see the live data right here. and we get to see every single breaker and exactly how many amperage is getting pulled. And that way it helps us being able to diagnose if things are running properly or if there's some sort of resistance causing a little bit more amperage draw than it's supposed to be. This is a really good example of how we're capable of letting the farm run for a few days and getting that information and comparing that to other farm install just to make sure that we're still within specs. And if something is off, then we look into it a little bit further. And that's the behind the scene and how we go about. Obviously, it's way longer than that. It takes almost half a day. And if we have to redo a few things, it takes a bit more time. But that's just a little bit of the process and the pains we go through to make sure that when the farm gets shipped to you, it really works as a real true plug and play system, not just with the pin and sleeve, but with the actual equipment in it. So obviously, if you're interested in seeing more of the process, follow us on YouTube. We'll show a bit more on Instagram and all that as well too. And you're always welcome to come visit, and we can kind of give you a bit more of a behind the scenes at Farm Anywhere.